All right, and I'd like to officially welcome everyone. This workshop has been supported by the SCPA, the Southern Cross Postgraduate Association. I would encourage you all to jump on. I'm pretty sure all of you would be members, but to keep an eye out for our other workshops and our amazing Praxis conference, which is coming up at the end of next month. But before we officially get started, I'd like to acknowledge the country that I'm coming to you guys from today, which is Bundjalung country with the Yugambeh people, the lovely sunny Gold Coast today. So feel free to pop in the chat which country you are all zooming in to us from. And I'd just like to acknowledge the elders, past, present and future, and that really pay them honour for the care of the country that they that is so beautiful for us today. I just came back from a beautiful walk and I hope you're all getting some time to enjoy the outdoors as we go about all of this work. So the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen with my little pre-prepared PowerPoint that I have for us today. How are we going? Can you see my PowerPoint texture? I wanted a bit of a 2-for-1 today, so I am needing to record a little video about texture as an element of art. So what I thought I would do is step you through how I go about that. So the first thing I will draw your attention to is when I'm in here in PowerPoint, I actually always like to kind of script what I record a little bit, just to help me remember what I'm going to say so that I make less mistakes. So I'm sure most of you are aware of this, but down the bottom of your PowerPoint, there is a little section that is to add notes. So sometimes it's a little bit hidden like this down the bottom, but you can actually just bring it up here and add your notes. You'll see on this one, I've got a little bit here and I've added that there. So that's just the first thing I wanted to draw your attention to. I find it helps me, keeps me a little focused when I'm doing my recording. So it's all here. My slides are generally fairly image heavy. There's not a lot of text on them. I have all of my narration down the bottom. There is one thing I'd like to, that I only discovered this week, which is if you open up, and I'm hoping this works, can you see the new, it's on Chrome, it says assignment 2, has it? Yeah, okay, beautiful. So if you can access PowerPoint online, which you should all be able to do, you should all have an account, you just do, I always just Google PowerPoint online and then go in and open up my PowerPoints in this online space. What I've just discovered is if you click on this slideshow here while you're online, did someone have a question? No? When you click on this, you actually can rehearse and the computer itself will give you some advice about how you're presenting. So I'm just going to demonstrate that really quickly because I think that that's just a little help. Sometimes we don't have family that are willing to sit through our practices. But in this space, you can actually get the computer to listen to you. So I'm going to stop sharing my video in Zoom because that will mean that it will register my video here. So you click on Rehearse with Coach and it should have made the whole screen full size for you. And you can see this little thing in the corner here, and it actually gives you real-time feedback. So I'm just going to have a go here and I'll just start rehearsing. Okay, it hasn't actually registered my video. That's unfortunate. If you were to do it, it would register your video. I think it's because I was already in a video on Zoom. But anyway, I'm speaking here And then as I talk about this thing here, I am saying, I'm doing a lot of ums because I'm not speaking really well, and see how the actual computer is reminding me that I need to speak more clearly. Then the next thing I'm going to do is say, part A, tell a story that can be shared via digital technology. Part B, 500-word reflection. And then so on and so forth. So I'm escaping out of that. And obviously that was not a great rehearsal because I'm trying to talk to you guys and do it at the same time. But you can see that it's actually given me a little breakdown of how long it took me. It keeps my pace. It will tell me if I used repetitive language. When I was doing some rehearsals of something before, I started reading the slide, and it actually gave me the tip to say, try not to read your slides in their entirety. So it was actually a really great function to practice with other people. Has anyone seen or used this function before? No? Awesome. Well, maybe we can in the future. I'm not able to monitor the chat really well at the moment. So if someone has something that they want to say, please just turn your mic on and interrupt me. I'm happy to be interrupted at any time, but I will try and look at it occasionally. The other thing that I have noticed that it gives you tips on is, and I practiced it, I said, good morning, girls and boys, and it actually pops up and it reminds you that you should use more inclusive language. So it's actually a really great little tool, I think, to help us practice when our family is sick of us practicing in front of them. So it's good to rehearse before you record a little bit, particularly if it's something complicated. And I just wanted to give you that tip, but let's dive in to how we go about recording on PowerPoint. And it's a very, very simple function. So what we do is we go up to slideshow, which is about the middle on the bar along the top. Everyone can see my PowerPoint slide now, can't they?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So along slideshow here, you'll have a few different options, and I'm hoping that everyone has these options on their own PowerPoint. I did check on a Mac and it did work. It looks a little different on a Mac to what I'm about to show you, but it does work there. So about the middle of that bar there, you'll see record slideshow. So you can just click on here. Now I've got multiple monitors. It hasn't worked. Sorry. I just need to select the right monitor so that it comes up to show you. No, give me 1 sec, sorry. Any questions while I get this sorted?
Hey, Katie, is it possible to record like you as well as the slideshow? Because I'm going to actually do it for an assessment where we have to record ourselves plus the presentation.
Definitely. I'm going to show you that as soon as I...
Fantastic. Thank you.
What it's doing is I've got 3 monitors in front of me and it keeps opening up on the wrong monitor. But let me just... All right. I'm going to stop sharing here for just 1 moment, and then I'm going to try again. Okay. All righty. Let me find you again. I'm going to share my screen again. Sorry, there's too many screens. Okay, I will moving you over to one of my other screens in the hope that it will work. So apologies for the side view here. Screen 1, share, and then record slideshow. Has that worked?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, think so.
Yeah.
All righty. What you should see is a black kind of screen with a red little record box in the circle in the top corner. Alrighty. So I'm back at the beginning here. I'm going to turn my camera off here so that hopefully it registers my camera down the bottom here. So you can actually see down the bottom right-hand side, there's the microphone button. So I can select to turn that on and off. Obviously we want it on. And then I'm going to turn my camera on, and then you can see that it pops up here. Okay, so that's how you have your little camera in the bottom right corner through PowerPoint. It is something.
Katie, can you do that again? I missed that.
Yep, no problem. Now it does look a little different for Macs, so I can't actually, I think it should be fairly intuitive. There's the little turn camera on. It's like a little camera button down the bottom right corner. You just,
I think it's at the top with Mac.
It's up the top with the Mac. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, I can't get mine accessing it at the moment, but I'm sure there's a reason.
Oh, it won't access it because your camera is in Zoom. It's turned on in the Zoom.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So if you wanted to try, you can turn your camera off in Zoom and then it should recognize it. But what we will be doing is having a little practice. And so I'm going to suggest that everyone leaves the meeting. I'm going to let you go for 15 minutes and have a practice, and then you can jump back in with any questions or when you're done. So okay. Hold tight for now. I'm going to demonstrate this, and then you can have a go of actually trying it yourself. So with the picture, the camera in the bottom corner, it is a design thing that you need to think about. You probably couldn't have things that go right down in that bottom corner because your head will cover it. So have a think about that when you're designing your PowerPoints, and that way it will work really great. Now, those notes that I spoke to you about before, I believe if you have a Mac, it's set up even better and you can actually see your notes. Unfortunately, I don't know how to change that setting, but I'm sure there is. For the PC up the top, you click on notes. Now, I didn't write on the first slide, but as I move across here, you can see that my notes are there, okay? And you can use those to guide you. Unfortunately, you only see a little bit of them, but that's okay. That's just what we're going to work with for now. I can even make the text larger and smaller. Okay, so starting at the beginning, what we're going to do is I'm going to demonstrate really quickly. I might only do 3 slides for you, and then we'll see what it does, okay? So just, it's quite simple. You press record, gives you a countdown. So today I'm going to be explaining about the elements of art, and the element we're talking about today is texture. So texture refers to the tactile qualities of a surface. This element of art deals with the way objects feel or the way it looks like they would feel. There are 2 types of texture. There's actual texture or tactile texture, and there's visual texture. Tactile texture is the actual feeling of a surface that can be touched. Think of the actual texture of a sculpture or a painting created with impasto technique. This is an example of actual or tactile texture. This sculpture is covered in actual fur. Okay, I just stopped there. And what you can do is you can actually watch that. I'm going to flip back and do the replay. So today I'm going to be explaining about the elements of art, and the element we're talking about today is texture. So texture refers to the tactile quality.
So you don't do it 1 slide at a time.
So what happens, which is even better, and I'm just going to see if I can escape out of that. Stop sharing.
I know this person.
Sorry, you can see my messy computer there for a second. Yeah.
Don't know. Not for me.
Okay. All right, I'm sharing my screen again here, and you can see that back in the PowerPoint, actual PowerPoint, you can see that it's added to each of those slides, the little video and the audio. So the great thing about it is that when you make a mistake on one slide, turn my video back on. When you make a mistake on one slide, you can actually fix that mistake by re-recording over just that one section. So you don't have to go back and start again. You can actually work on each slide separately. Sometimes I find if I'm recording a really long video, I just run out of path. And it's nice to just do it in little chunks. But when we export the video, it will export the whole thing quite seamlessly. Does anyone have any questions about what I just showed you?
Sorry, how did you get to that black screen before? Where you started it?
How I get there is up the center, up the top here. It's file on the far left. As you move along to the middle, you open slideshow.
Yeah.
And that should open up all of these different options, and record slideshow is the option that you select.
Because when I hear that, it just brings up this little box that says slide and animation, narration, that's it. And then it starts recording. I don't get that screen at all, unfortunately.
Let's,
The same thing happened to me. It might be because you're using two screens. So
yeah,
it's hidden on another screen.
Unless it's a different version thing with PowerPoint.
Yeah, like I said, the same thing happened to me. So you need to like maybe drag things around and see if it's hidden under something.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, Megan. It is difficult when you've got lots of screens going on. I'm just, yeah.
Katie, can I ask, when you just showed us that before, I thought your notes were coming up in the video when the video was being played after you recorded?
They don't, perhaps in that section they did, but they, when you export it, they won't come up.
Okay, all right, great. So
Katie, sorry, go on, Natalie.
Oh, that's okay, Deborah, thanks. How did you, so when after you finish recording it, where does it go? Where's it saved? How do you find it again?
We will, I will get to that. Do you mean how do you export it as a complete video, or?
Yeah, I just sort of didn't understand how you got back to this one and it was there.
It will do it automatically.
Yeah, okay.
It will do that automatically for you. So you can just escape out of that black section, and then it saves it here. And so when I go back into here again, it should all still be in there. So I could delete that. I could go, oh, I don't like that section. I could delete it out here, or you can work within the slideshow. So I'm going to just, I'm really apologize for the crazy flipping everywhere that I'm doing. But I need to share the right screen. So what I'm going to get you guys to do, I think what we might do is have a little, I'm going to show you one more time a little bit about how we can edit within this section. I'm hoping you can see this again now. I've shared back in the recording studio. Okay, so what you can do in this section is, say, for example, I really didn't like the way I explained this section here. I can actually just press record again, and it will record straight over it. So I'm just going to press record right now, and it's counting down. Tactile texture is the actual feeling of a surface. Blah, 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 blah. Stop. Now, what you'll notice is that I forgot to turn the camera back on. So when we watch this, so we'll go and we'll have a little replay. You'll see that my camera will actually drop away.
Texture refers to the tactile qualities of the surface. This element of art deals with the way objects feel or the way it looks like they would feel. There are two types of texture. There's actual texture or tactile texture, and there's visual texture. Tactile texture is the actual feeling of a surface. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay, so you can see that my video went away. So I can go, oh, I really need to fix that mistake. And I'm going to turn my video off here so that it will work over here. let me come back here. Multiple screens. Let's see if that will let me. It's not letting me. That's not a problem. That's not a problem with the actual program. It's because I'm sharing too many different things that it won't let me click back on that screen. But it's fairly self-intuitive. What I'd like to give everyone an opportunity to do is I'd like to give everyone 10 minutes to go and have a little play with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop. I'm going to pause the recording here, and then just a suggestion for people, you can choose to mute yourself and turn your video off, and then just like minimize this Zoom screen and then have a play on your computer. If you're really worried about someone coming and talking on here and disturbing your recording, what you can choose to do is leave the meeting and then do all of your little fun recordings for about 10 minutes. And then come back in to join us. So there's a few options. I'd love to be here to answer questions for people. So perhaps leaving the meeting and then coming back in is a really good idea. So I'm going to pause the recording. There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can definitely do it that way. You can record over it, or you can, when you come back out of the record slide section, you can actually just, I might do it on this one so that I don't delete everything. You can see that there's the little audio file because I didn't have a video I'll make it a little bit bigger. You can see the audio file here. I can just click on it and delete it. And then that's no longer there. So you can do that as well.
Great.
I have a question. One thing that I always struggle with when I'm doing these types of recordings is where to look so it looks like I'm looking at the people instead of looking, because my eyes dart around all over the place, like because I don't know where to look. So where's the best place to concentrate your eyes?
I've found, I don't know how to show you here. I've found with the PC one, the notes are up the top in the middle. Because I mean, really, we should be looking at that little red, that for me on my computer, it's like a white little light that's coming out where my camera is active. So that's where you should probably be, like that's where I'm focusing on right now. Does it look like I'm looking directly at you?
Yeah, it does,
And then I guess if I'm looking down a little bit, I'm looking at my screen. So it's only a tiny image. You can't really see. And that's the beauty of recording your slide is you can be reading, and if you're, you can get really good at reading so that it doesn't look like you're reading if that's what makes you feel more comfortable. And you can have your notes right up there and it looks like you're looking at the camera.
Yeah, that's good.
And I didn't mention it before, but I probably should have. You do need to think about your background. I think I'm in a bit of a mess here. I haven't cleaned up my table in a while. And when I'm in Zoom, you can't see it because I've got this virtual background behind me, but you can sort of see in my video. I wonder if I can crop it. And that's the other thing you can do is I could make myself really big. I could make it smaller. I was trying to see if
And you do that after you've done the recording. You can
for sure. So I've done
edit those things. Okay.
So
Can I ask a question here? Sorry, that just made me realize, can you move that video now to the top right-hand corner? Yeah, awesome. Because I've seen that happen with lecturers and I didn't know how they did it. Okay,
so
thanks.
You can for sure. So, I mean, I could go, I mean, gosh, I could have it like really big in some sections. I mean, you'd want to think about the smoothness of it because I don't, it would be a little jarring perhaps, but maybe if you're presenting and then there's a section where you really want to talk and you don't want the distraction of the slides, and maybe, you transition into a spot where you're really quite big and there's nothing else on the screen and you talk for a while and then transition out of it. And I do wonder if you actually made how in PowerPoint you can fade in and out. I think that those fade in and outs would translate into the video. I haven't tried it, so I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but you could get it looking really quite spiffy with those Don't do too many transitions. They make people dizzy. But if you do like a really nice fade, you could do that. So just be aware that if you're changing the size, you kind of want to make it look quite smooth. You'd want to do it the same all along. Otherwise, each time you change, the little video will be going boop, 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 like that. So it's something to consider, but certainly something you can do.
Katie, I have a question if you're finished.
Yes.
How do we put a virtual background into the little box of ourselves on the bottom right-hand corner of the PowerPoint screen?
I don't think there is that capability. Maybe there is, and I don't know how, but I don't know, but there is something that I downloaded the other day called Snap Camera that can do it, and it can turn you into like a cartoon character and all sorts of things. But perhaps if you selected that video, because I know I can record with my Snap Camera, that would be a way you could do it. But it would get quite complicated.
Thank you.
I don't know. Does anyone else know this answer to that?
Yeah, you need third-party software, and it replaces the camera in your like Windows settings. So then when you're choosing the camera to record, it uses the software and off it goes.
Well, I guess that's what that Snap Camera is it's another type of.
Yeah, like the one I use is XSplit Cam, I think it's called, which you can get for free.
I'm sure that's more professional than my little Snap one. I
I
could not. All I wanted to be was that cartoon character, and my kids thought I was the daggiest person in the world. But anyway, that's what I did for some fun for a while there. Does anyone have any last minute questions before we move on to exporting our video to create an MP4?
Yes, can I just ask, please, Arlo? Excellent. That's what I was about to ask you, if you could put the link up. Thank you.
Welcome.
Excellent. Thank you, Arlo. I'm just touching in on the chat box. I haven't been looking there. That's a good idea, Shay, to put a little face near the camera to help you focus, or like a little sticky note or something. Yeah, what a great idea. Natalie says,
someone once told me to put googly eyes. Put googly eyes next to the camera, but I did that and they kept falling off.
Oh,
my computer wouldn't close. Maybe not a good idea on a laptop.
Okay, so a few different people are having issues with Macs, but it looks like you're looking after each other in the chat there. I'll come back to some questions in just a moment. I'd really like to show you how to export this video. So what we've got here, let's pretend, because I haven't actually done it, but let's pretend I have a video that's really great and it has audio on each slide and a video on each slide. I'm ready to go. All you do is go up to File, and down here, you click Export. And then on Export, you want to create a video. Now, I don't fiddle with anything here, to be honest, because what it will do is it will use the recorded timings to see how long it wants to spend on each slide. So you've already put those timings into it. So I don't really touch anything. You can change the, I'm going to actually do the smallest file size. Normally I do whatever it comes up with and I don't fiddle with anything, but I'm going to choose the smallest one today so that it happens a lot. Oh, actually, no, I won't. You'll see. I think that's what it normally is. I'll just leave it like that so that you can see how long it takes. It's not long. And you just click Create Video. And it comes up with where you want to save it. So I'm going to save mine to my desktop just so that it's really easy for me to find again. Oh, I'll save it into downloads actually. There we go. So you could rename it if you wanted. I've already saved this PowerPoint slide, so it's called Texture already. And I'm going to hit save. You can see down the bottom here that it's creating the video. And so that'll just take, oh, look, I've done one that was sort of 15 minutes long and it took maybe 2 or 3 minutes to come across. I do wonder whether it's going to stress out because I'm doing things on the computer, but it should be there. And that's it. That's all you need to do to create your video. So I would encourage everyone who has had a little practice to Alt Tab or move to their PowerPoint slide and do that as we are waiting now. I'm going to check the chat and see if I've missed any questions, or feel free to pipe up with a question.
May I just ask you, Katie, there was a long list of file types. You mentioned MP4. Is that the best option?
Look, I'm no expert. It's the only option I've ever used.
Okay, as long as it works, that's fine with me.
That's what's worked for me. It's what I always use.
Yeah. Okay.
MP4s are good as well because students can usually access them no matter what computer they're using, and you can like use them on other devices like phones and things, etc. so forth.
Okay, so that's finished for me. I'm going to open it up to show you. Everyone else's should be fairly finished. Let me see, where did I save it in the end? Downloads. And so here it is. You can see I was saving some of my pictures when I was making it. I'm going to just double click on that to open her up.
So today I'm going to be explaining about the elements of art and the element.
Can you hear it?
Today.
Yep.
Yeah.
So texture refers to the tactile qualities of the surface. This element of
That's really cool.
Objects feel or the way it looks like they feel. There are two types of texture. There's actual texture or tactile texture.
Megan, what was that other file type you just said that you can access on your phone?
The MP4s should be able, students should be able to access them on their phone.
Oh, okay, cool.
Through the
Thank
MP4s.
you.
That's why we generally use them.
Okay.
And then you can see here that I
Katie.
didn't have anything on this one. So it's just going to be there for a few seconds. I think it's 5 seconds. So I didn't have any audio, but it's still there. So if I had animations or if I had inbuilt transitions, you'd see all of those as well. So for example, I had the most basic animation here. Hold on. I'll click across. Sorry. Clipping. So see how that appeared, the actual or tactile texture, and then the visual texture words. That's like the most basic animation. I just had some words come up as I was speaking rather than having the whole text there the whole time, so it didn't distract the viewer.
Katie, so you're doing all of this on PowerPoint online, correct?
No,
Oh,
none of this on PowerPoint online.
okay.
I'm
Okay.
only doing this.
This is in your computer.
This is just PowerPoint. To be honest, I don't even know what version I have.
Yep, gotcha. Thank you.
But just PowerPoint. So how did everyone go? Did we have success?
I could save it. I could save it, Katie, but then I couldn't. I spoke too soon. I couldn't open it again. It says it's not compatible with QuickTime Player.
Can you open it with something else? What did I use to open it? Was that QuickTime?
Oh, now
Player?
it's open. Now it's open. That's very strange. My computer's
Maybe it was still okay. So that's another thing. It thinks about it, and it will actually appear in your. It'll appear like it's saved, but it won't open until it's actually processed.
Yeah,
So
that's what's happened. It's taken some time. Yeah.
You might have just been too excited, which is
Yeah.
fine.
Always ahead of things. Thanks, Katie.
No problem.
That
Did
worked,
anyone
Katie.
need me to show them the steps again to export the picture? To export the video? All good? Excellent. So it is really simple. It's file, export, export video, create. I don't know, that's like 4 steps or something. So hopefully you've all been able to do that. We're churning through this much quicker than I thought we would. That's great. So how does everyone feel about us moving on to uploading it to YouTube? Are you ready to do that? Would anyone like
that'd be
to
great.
have some more time to practice with recording, or we move on?
Move on would be fantastic.
Moving on? Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to keep my screen shared. I can't actually see it because I'm sharing my screen. Are we still recording? Can someone see in the top left? Is it saying that? Beautiful. I didn't want to miss it. Okay, so let's open up. I'm opening up YouTube. So I've got my YouTube here. This is YouTube, my home screen of YouTube, and I'm logged in. You can see that I'm signed in to YouTube here. So this is my account. When I click on my channel, there is nothing in my channel because I don't use my videos publicly. I have a lot of videos that I've created, but you can see that there's nothing in my channel that people can see, just rando people who look up my name. So I use it for other things. If you are wanting to have things in your channel that are public, this is where they would appear. I don't use it for that though. So what I'm going to show you is down the left-hand side, there's all these different things. You can see the subscriptions that I have. And this is not paid. I don't pay for YouTube. I've trialed it to get rid of the ads. I don't care about the ads. So this is all free access here. So what I'm going to click on now is your videos in the far left-hand side. And then this, you can see, are the videos that I've created sort of here. And you can actually see the reason that you can't see them publicly is because I select to have them unlisted. And I know for a lot of you who are doing coursework who need to make presentations to submit for your assignments, I'd say most of the requirements for those assignments would say to submit an unlisted YouTube video. And that means that only the person that has the link can view it. So does anyone have any questions about that? Or is that all good? Lovely. You will have access to the recording after the seminar. Yes. So what I'll do is I'll actually download this video, I'll upload it to YouTube, and then I'll send everyone a link to the recording. Okay, so you can see all of my videos here, but what I'm going to step you through here is how do you upload your video? And you can do it anywhere in YouTube, actually. This button in the top right that says create, it actually should be there on your home screen as well, I think. But I always go to your video, which is in the far left-hand column, and then up here it has the create. And I'm not going live, I'm going to upload a video. And it will open up. I'm pretty sure this is the same for Macs and PCs. You're on the internet, it should all be the same steps. I'm going to upload my video. So I'm going to select, you can drag and drop it there, but I am going to select it. So I'm finding where it was in downloads. I'm opening it, and then it just thinks about it for a few seconds. This is where you can make some changes. So I'm going to say elements of art, texture. You could put a little description here. You don't have to, but you could if you wanted to describe what you had done. Now, I'll show you how to do this later, but you could do it here. You can upload a thumbnail so that, you know, the thing that people see when they're looking at it will be your chosen picture. Otherwise, if you don't do that, it'll just choose some section of the video. And sometimes you're sort of looking really funny, or it's not the picture that you want. So that's where you can upload like a little cover picture. You could create playlists. I haven't done that because I don't really have lots of videos, but if you had lots of videos on your channel, you could create a playlist to sort of sort them out. I always say no, it's not made for kids, because I'm not making anything for kids. I think that if you are making things for kids, there's lots more rules about the types of things that you can do, but mine is not. Generally, I would just click next, but I'm going to show you the other options here. If your video is public and you don't want to get a whole bunch of spammy comments, you can actually, sorry, I'm scrolling right down. You can change some of the settings about your comments. It's probably not relevant to anyone. If your video is unlisted, it doesn't really matter. But if you were making a public video, you probably want to be aware of the options, which means you could either allow all comments, hold, you could disable comments altogether. You just have a few different options. I know when for another company that I work for, I had created some public ones and I got a whole bunch of some really rude comments that had nothing to do with it. I'm assuming it was a spam situations, and that's when I learned that you can disable the comments. So I'll disable the comments. All right, so then we click next. I generally ignore this and I just click next and then click next again. The copyright here is interesting if you have background music. If your video has sort of music that is copyrighted, YouTube will usually pull you up on it and not let you publish. So it is something that you need to think about if you're using copyrighted music, sometimes you might squeeze through, but then an hour later, YouTube might pull the video down. So it is something that you do need to be aware of. So you probably want to act ethically anyway and use Creative Commons music or music you've created yourself or something like that. All right, so we get to this final section, and this is where I know a lot of students that I've had in my courses often forget to do this properly, and it's so important so that when you submit your assignment, you have clicked unlisted and not private. If you click private, it means that no one can see it unless they are you. So even if you go in and you check it and you're like, yes, I can see my video, no one else can. So it's so important that you click unlisted and you can share your link and someone else will be able to watch your video. Of course, if you want your video to be public, then of course you just can click public and that's no problem. So my suggestion is always check that you are unlisted. You can change it later, but that is the one that I suggest that you click, and then you click save. Now it's been working in the background this whole time to upload. So it's actually probably ready because I took so long to talk through that. But if you were really quick with it, there would be a little thing come up here that says it's still loading. So I'm going to, and this is the link here that you can just click on and copy and then share that. So what I'm going to do is I might put that link in the chat. And you should be able to, not that you want to, it's not a good video, but you should be able to then see that video that I just uploaded. Does anyone have any questions? Or would you like me to give you 5 minutes to just go through those steps to upload your video? If you check unlisted, it doesn't matter, no one's going to see it.
Katie, can I just ask, once you've done that, you've published a video and it gives you a video link, but you just want to look at it in YouTube itself, do you have to click on that video link to see it?
No, you can. I sometimes would open an incognito video so that none of my logins are there to make sure that it works for other people. I sometimes do that, which I probably don't need to anymore, but it's the over preparer in me wanting to make sure that the link works. But what you can do is you can click on it here, Jane, and then you go back into this section, which is where you can fiddle with things and you can watch it there.
So today I'm going to be explaining about the elements of art,
You can make it bigger to watch it big if you wanted to with that little full screen button. And then, so at any time you can come and change this here. So this is the edit button here. So this is where I'm going to show you really quickly that you can, so here the thumbnail is what comes up when someone first looks at your video. And sometimes, I mean, this one here is not a really great front page one. To be honest, that one's okay. My face is a bit weird looking. And if you don't want that and you want to have like a cover photo, this is where you can do it. And it is as simple as clicking on the upload the thumbnail and I'm just going to pick that. That's not right, but you know, you could put something like, so in the title of the video and a little picture of yourself and presented by Megan Lee or whatever it is that you wanted to do. I know that, I'm going to change it. I'll see if I can. I know that I often do this for the covers of our videos for the SCPA. And when you receive the link for this recording, you'll see that there's a, like I could put that, there's actually a cover on it so that you can see the title and who presented it and what date it was recorded and things like that. So you can do that. Yeah, and then of course, make sure you click save. Okay. I think that's everything that I wanted to share with you about the very simple, make a recording, export the video and upload it to YouTube. Is anyone concerned about it and need some more support?
Can we do just like a little practice for 10 minutes and then come back if we have questions?
I think that's a really great idea. I'm happy to stay, and I might pause the recording, but let's take, because we've actually got through this much quicker than I thought. So let's take 10 minutes to upload our video to YouTube. And if anyone needs help, I'll be here.
Just get you to check something, Katie.
The recording, I probably shouldn't have paused it before. Has anyone got any other questions? Has anyone had success?
Actually, I want to show, can you please show me again, how do you get the videos to the, like uploading YouTube?
Hello everyone, I'm Shay. I'm
PowerPoint?
speaking to you from Bunjalung country. In
I can hear you recording, Shay, that's great. Yes, I can show you again. So I'll share the screen. So you want me to show from the beginning
PowerPoint.
of how to
Yeah,
upload?
yeah. From the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. I'll just share this screen. Let me find it for you. Okay, so here we are in PowerPoint. Did you want me to go right back to the beginning to all of the different points, or just from the point where you've got the recordings here?
Not the recording. How do I upload YouTube? Like I couldn't find, maybe, so I just want to know from where do you get PowerPoint to YouTube?
Okay, yep. So when I've got all of my recordings here and I'm ready to go, what I do is I click on the file in the top left-hand corner of PowerPoint, and then I click export. And then from export, I want to create a video. I generally just leave all of this exactly how it is, and I click create video. When I do that, it asks me where I'd like to save it. So make sure you save it in a spot that you'll find it again. So I'm going to choose downloads, but you could have a videos folder so that you can find exactly where to get them, label it clearly and click save. And you'll know that it's doing it because down the bottom here, it should say creating video, and it'll have a little bar as it's thinking about it. You've got to wait until it's completely created for it to work. And then once you've got that file, what you do is you go to YouTube. So I'm going to open up YouTube. Do you need me to repeat anything there?
So I need to make an account first or what?
Yeah, so you do need to sign up for an account. So when you go to, so you just log into YouTube. Sorry, let me go home here. You should have to, it's been a long time since I've done it. I did send out a link that had tips as to how to create a YouTube channel this morning in the email. When I'm logged in here, you should see in the top right-hand corner, are you logged in?
No, I did not. I didn't.
Okay, so you should be able to just log in that top right corner and set up an account. I'll find that link that I sent out this morning and I'll pop it in the chat here, and it should take you through how to make an account. So once you've made an account, then all of these things that I've been sharing should appear for you, but you certainly do need to create the account first.
Okay, so I need to and one more thing, I don't know why I don't have any export here. So my PowerPoint, lots of things doesn't support in my computer as I
Okay, so you're unable to
yeah,
export the video.
yes, I can't.
Yeah. Other than updating your software, I'm not sure. We did discuss earlier that if you wanted to make a video, you could maybe open a Zoom meeting and record inside Zoom, and that creates a video for you.
So yeah, lots of things it doesn't support in my computer. Maybe my PowerPoint, I'll update that one.
Perhaps you need to update it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
No problem. I'm putting in the chat, I've just popped the link about how to create your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I got it. Got the link. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
Katie, I've got another question. I've got another question, Katie. I just worked out how to put the captions onto my YouTube video, but now it's showing up over where my embedded video of me talking is. Do you know if there's any way of moving the caption text around in YouTube?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm pretty sure it's automatic. And I wonder if that's something that, you know, if you're really keen to have those captions there, which I think is a really great idea, maybe we think about that in the design of our videos. You know, maybe we'll try and design the video so there's not a lot of really important things down the bottom sort of 10th of the screen, and maybe have the video of yourself up the top. Maybe there is an answer, but I don't actually know it. It is an important consideration, I think, even with the design of your slides, to make sure that wherever your head is going to be is not covering up writing. And I guess that's the same with the closed captions.
Yeah, thank you. No worries. I'll just have a play. I think move it around a bit.
I mean, we could Google it. Maybe there's an answer out there, but I don't have it for you right now. How's everyone else going? Have we had some success?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it worked well. It's great. I'm amazed.
I might stop sharing, so I don't really have.
So, Katie, where will this recording be available?
So I will upload this recording on the SCPA's YouTube channel, which I should have shown you. Maybe I will. I'll get that up and I'll share the screen. But it usually only takes me about 24 hours to get it up there. And once that's done, I will send out the link to everyone who registered for this training. And I'll also send out a feedback form that I would ask everyone to kindly fill out, which is really helpful for us. But those, the SCPA YouTube page is actually available publicly for everyone. So you don't have to have attended the workshop to watch it, obviously. So this is our channel here. And we have a bunch of different trainings that you can access here. I try to keep the playlists set up, but you can see, well, here's an example of those thumbnails that I put on the front.
Yeah,
I've popped them on here to try to keep them a bit tidier. And you can see these ones from Praxis last year. I didn't take the time to do that. So you can see that there's just sort of a random screenshot of part of the video from our Praxis videos. So, you know, you can jump on here and watch any of these. I don't think I've enabled subtitles on these, and I may go back through, although that one is, so the subtitles, they won't always come up, but you can choose to activate the subtitles, which is really helpful if you don't want to listen to it with audio or you've got a lot of people around, or it just maybe will help. Yeah, so that's all there for you. I'll pop the link to the channel in the chat.
Great.
As well.
I went pretty well, Katie, so I got it all worked out. You know how I used to have that problem with Prezi and Camtasia and stuff with my mouth being out from the audio?
Yes.
I figured out it's probably my earphones, because I've got like cheap, like single earphones, which are like $60, like little pods. And I originally did the PowerPoint without my pods on and just with the computer audio, and it was fine. And then I put the pods in and I did another one, and then my mouth was out. So it's so that problem I had with Prezi might not happen for that reason as well. So
I've always had the problem with Prezi, and I know a lot of people online have, but you'd hope that they'd fix their software, honestly. So hopefully they will soon, because the recording in Prezi is a lot of fun.
Yeah, cool.
Zoe, I can found the answer to the closed caps on video. As a viewer, you have the option of dragging the captions to any part of the screen. As a channel owner, you're now able to set the position of the subtitles that you upload with your videos. That's great. So excellent. That's good to know. Thank you for that. It's always the answer if we Google it, I guess. We are nearly out of time. I'm happy to answer some more questions, or you can take the next 7 minutes of our time to keep playing and editing with the things that you've started. But I'll certainly hang around to answer any questions before we leave.
Thank you, Katie. This has seriously been the best training I have ever done with SCPA. So super engaging, very informative, just wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Megan. I do love creating a little video. It's hard. It would be lovely if we could be in a classroom together, working it out all together, but we've muddled through, and I think, has everyone managed to download a video of some kind? Well, download and then upload?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
thanks,
great,
Katie.
I second what Megan said. It was really, really useful presentation, and your usual delightful presentation style. Thank you.
Well, it's been a lot. I'm no expert at it. I'm just a person who spends a lot of time just mucking around trying to find out what works for me. So hopefully I can save you the time that I take mucking around.
Yeah, it's great.
Completely wonderful, Katie. I was very intimidated by the thought of it, and you've made it so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty happy when I discovered that you could record to each slide, because, you know, it just saves so much time in editing later, and you go, oh, you know, the amount of times I'll be there in an ambulance or drive past or something, or a kid will walk into the room while you're trying to record it. It's not all wasted. It's just that one little slide that you go, far out, I wrecked this section. And and then you can just fix it. So it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Happy to answer any last minute questions, but I feel like everyone seems to have it under control, or they're just busy playing. I'll stop the recording now though.
All done for me.
I'm all
Thank
good.
you, Kelvin.
See you later, Kate.